Hi, my name is Zach Mahabir, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're going to be giving a quick NBA update here. The NBA is considering a bold new approach to the continuation of their season, one that would lead the league straight into the playoffs, expand the layout to 20 teams, and could possibly involve the best teams in the league drafting which teams they'll face in the first round. This massive undertaking in the world's most famous mouse's house would include providing housing, practice facilities, and game facilities, along with and, quote, a comprehensive set of guidelines to ensure that appropriate medical protocols and protections are in place. So now that we have a when and a where, we still need to figure out the how. According to a series of reports out of TheRinger.com, expanded on by their own Kevin O'Connor, a recent survey sent out to GMs league-wide details a format that would allow the current 16 playoff teams and the 4 teams with the next best records, regardless of conference, to engage in a 4-group group stage play-in to advance to the second round. While other potential formats have theorized letting the 16 playoff teams compete with straight seeding, regardless of conference, this gives some of the teams still competing to get back into the standard playoff picture an opportunity to go out and compete. Another way to provide balancing would be to set the teams into tiers based on their record, with Tier 1 having the privilege of choosing 1 team per tier to add to their group, with a maximum of 3 teams from the Western Conference per group. Tier 1 in this format would comprise of the teams with the 4 best records in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Toronto Raptors, and the Los Angeles Clippers. Each team would play the other 4 teams in their group twice, providing an 8-game group stage, in which the 2 top teams per group advance into the second round. What of the 10 teams that don't qualify for the group stage? While the players won't be able to compete, the ownership and management of these teams will be able to vote on certain parameters of the new format for the sake of deciding what would be best for league revenue generation and for parity and fairness within the playoffs. Obviously, there's a lot of things to focus on in whether this is fair or whether this is the appropriate measure to be taken by the NBA. Of course, the 9th seed Wizards and the 10th seed Hornets would not be counting towards those 4 teams that would be let in. That would be the Trailblazers, the Pelicans, I believe the Kings, and the Spurs. So is it entirely fair for the Kings and the Spurs to come in if they're 11th and 12th in their conference and not the Wizards and the Hornets if they're 9th and 10th? There's also a matter of players like Damian Lillard who have said that he wouldn't play in any capacity if the league was to come back and there was no path for a team like his to join the playoffs. In my opinion, there's a lot of downsides to group play. I think that it negates the idea that some of these teams have already played each other throughout the season, and it diminishes the value of that last stretch of time before the playoffs. The tier system being the first round of the playoffs and not a guide into a shortened playoff format seems a little haphazard to me. If it was me, I would try to do a round robin within the current, let's say, 18 or 20 teams that are contending for playoff spots, and then proceed with an 8-team playoff so you could have your 7-game series and proper rest in between. You could give teams an opportunity to prepare. A big part of the NBA playoff picture that I think is getting muddied in all of this is teams need time in between series to scout, to look at tape, to prepare their lineups, and to make shifts into their sets so they can play against faster teams, slower teams, teams that have a bigger focus on offense or teams that have a bigger focus on defense. For me, I think that this has the potential to get the league back on track, but if I was going to do this, I would try to set up some sort of group stage or round robin as a regular season completion and then move into a shorter playoff format. That's all the thoughts I have. Please be sure to like and leave a comment and leave a thoughtful thought or two. Have a great day, everyone.